Assalamu alaikum, peace be on you. My name is Mazhar. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes speaking about celebration from a Muslim perspective. Basically, celebration from a Muslim perspective essentially revolves around the two main celebrations within the Islamic calendar, primarily of course the two Eids, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. And in essence, for example, Eid al-Fitr comes at the end of the month of Ramadan, which is the month of fasting. And of course, when one endures a month of fasting, which is refraining from food or drink from morning till evening, from dawn till dusk, over a course of 29 to 30 days, one has something to celebrate, that one has achieved something. And at the end of that period, there is this celebration of Eid al-Fitr. Similarly, we have Eid al-Adha, which is the second festival within the Islamic calendar, which is essentially to do with commemorating the sacrifice of Abraham, the patriarch of the prophets. And Abraham's sacrifice, or willing to sacrifice his son to God Almighty, the Creator, is something which Muslims regard as an amazing experience, and something which is celebrated through the pilgrimage to Mecca, to Mecca in Saudi Arabia, an annual pilgrimage which roughly 3 million people undertake. These celebrations for Muslims in Britain, for example, express themselves through certain activities, beginning in the house, for example, where people will wake up, put on new clothes, have a shower, bath themselves, put on new clothes, go to the mosque for special Eid prayers, and then spend the day with their families with a meal and so forth. Particularly for children, it can be a very, very exciting time because, of course, again, new clothes. There's a tradition within Islam, certainly for Muslims coming from the South Asian continent, where they have some the concept of monetary gifts. Eidi, for example, they call it Eidi, and these gifts, £10 from each member of the family, elder, for example, your parents, your uncles, your aunts, and they're collecting all this money and then spending it on sweets, on toys, on whatever they desire. So it is something really that is such an exciting and brilliant time for children. And certainly for the rest of the community even, I mean, Islam certainly emphasizes the fact that Eid and the celebration shouldn't be done in isolation of the community. It should be something which the rest of the community can be involved in, and its atmosphere should be where everybody is celebrating. And it does this by incorporating certain acts of charity within the day of Eid. For example, in Eid al-Fitr, when you go to do the prayers at the mosque, there is this collection done called Zakat al-Fitr, which is every person donates £5, which is essentially one meal. So for example, in my house, I'm the eldest, and then I've got the youngest, who is Dawood, 4 years old. So on behalf of every member of the family, 5 of us, I'm donating £5. So £25 is donated, and everybody does the same. And so in essence, everything, all that money is collected and then distributed to the community for those who are less well off, so they can also partake in this celebration. Similarly, during the Eid al-Adha, where the meat is sacrificed, of the sacrificed animal, is distributed. A third of it is retained by the family who have done the sacrifice, a third is given to your family, and then a third of it is given to the people who are less well off. So again, it's something for them to celebrate, to receive this gift of meat, which again is often seen as a luxury in certain communities, and they can also be part of that celebration. So it's really, Islam tries to emphasize the fact that this is a community celebration. It's certainly not something that should be done in isolation. And in essence, when you talk about celebration from a Muslim perspective, from this festival perspective, there is this constant emphasis that it's something, again, going back to the thanking God, that life, you have these bounties which have been received from God Almighty, and they are to be celebrated. And it's recognizing these what in Islam you would call blessings, as you would call really blessings from God Almighty. And these blessings, counting those blessings, recognizing those blessings, and they are of course something which one should be constantly celebrating as well.